A technology meant for safety, now sparking privacy fears.
We have cameras everywhere in that town. You can't get a breath of fresh air in or out without us knowing.
Who's watching, who has access, and what happens when it's exploited.
What if an abusive partner uses it to stalk their ex-girlfriend and her new boyfriend? It's already happened.
And for innocent residents, the fallout can be real.
You're guilty until you prove yourself innocent.
When systems fail, people pay the price. We trace the damage, expose the truth, and fight to fix it. This is Uncovered by Atlanta News First Investigates. Your car may already be in a police database, photographed, timestamped, and located without a warrant, without suspicion, and without your knowledge.
And one company's cameras are used to catch criminals in thousands of communities nationwide. But we investigate who's watching the watchers.
Flock safety cameras continue to pop up around town
to ensure that car thieves and violent criminals have almost no chance to escape.
They've been helping catch suspects quickly.
We're just trying to keep you safe.
Flock cameras have revolutionized local law enforcement.
The system has helped them arrest violent offenders and recover stolen cars.
An advantage they say is priceless.
Just help them get a dangerous man off the street.
They tracked his car down using flock cameras.
The cameras take a picture of every car that drives by.
The cameras are designed to catch criminals, but they also create a searchable database of every car that passes.
All day it's just reading tags.
They're continuously recording.
It's just a tool to help us catch criminals. We're going to catch everyone.
We have cameras everywhere in that town. You can't get a breath of fresh air in or out without us knowing.
Chrisana Elzer learned the power of Flock firsthand.
You were in town from 11:52 until 12:09. Exactly. Like I said, nothing gets in or out of the town without us knowing.
When a Colorado police officer showed up at her door holding Flock snapshots of her truck.
And here's when you left at 12:09. That's when you left town.
To get?
No, to stop at Ridge Trail.
Wait a minute.
And take a package. Well, there's no shushing. I don't need to be.
I need to know where this is.
The first thing he pulled out on the body cam is that Flock picture, the clear photograph of your car.
But here's your vehicle in the neighborhood many, many times, apparently casing houses, because you just can't drive through for work or visit other businesses. You can only be casing houses.
It is her. It is 100%. It is locked in. There is zero doubt. I wouldn't have come here unless I was 100% sure. 100%. It is certain. It is on video. You're obviously welcome to go to court.
Chrisana was charged with stealing a package, but it wasn't her. The porch pirate was somebody else.
Multiple times you tried to show him your video evidence. He didn't want to see it.
No, even when I called him back, he said, that's not my job.
You looked at a time of a crime. You saw my vehicle entering in the flock.
No, what I did was, I did an investigation.
You called my wife a liar. You said this is fact.
I have video evidence. I don't know what you want me to say.
The charges were dropped after Chrisana spent weeks trying to get the police chief to look at her evidence. Time-stamped video from her truck and a neighbor's doorbell camera showing she wasn't at the scene of the crime.
What does it say about where we are that you feel you have to have more cameras than the police have in order to make sure you can prove yourself innocent?
It sounds like it flipped the script to you're guilty until you prove yourself innocent.
Without a Flock camera, that detective would not have been at her door. By his own admission, he pulled out the Flock picture of her car. Do you want to apologize to Chrisana Elzer for what happened to her?
For the police misusing the tools? I don't think that I have to apologize for him.
He wasn't charged with a crime. He wasn't, other than being reprimanded for his attitude.
Sure. No, but I would tell you that, should I apologize for somebody misusing a tool? I don't think so.
Flock Safety Chief Communications Officer Josh Thomas.
Who's watching the watchers in these cases?
Well, the city council. The city owns the data, so city council would have the appropriate responsibility in that case. Our point of view has always been that it is not Flock's job to police the way police do their work.
Flock license plate readers don't just scan tags looking for stolen cars or vehicles on a hot list. The cameras take a photo of every car that passes, stamped with the precise time and location. The more cameras you pass, the clearer the picture of your movements. All of that data is saved in a database for 30 days, shared with connected police departments allowing the government to go back in time to see where your car was and when. No warrant required, whether you're suspected of a crime or not.
Why not just do hot list alerts? It's because the investigative value here is immense. Otherwise, you're going back to the old way of policing, which is an eyewitness saw something. They're going to call in and report it. And a police officer has to go stop every yellow Jeep that looked like that, or every person who's described a certain way. Instead, with an LPR, you can actually find the objective data you need. It's the new way of policing, which is precise. Instead of dragnet, it actually becomes precision policing. So I would challenge back that same notion and say, hot listing is not the way to go.
Because police departments not only save typically 30 days of every vehicle that passes every one of their cameras, investigators also have access to the same data from every department or private business that shares cameras with them.
We have well over 1,000 cameras that we have access to right now.
Flock says 6,000 local governments use its cameras, many sharing data with each other.
Flock becomes more powerful, not just more profitable, the more agencies who are part of the network.
That's their entire business model. That's why they're worth $7.5 billion.
The whole idea is crowdsourcing, right?
Yes.
But it's crowdsourcing with agencies rather than the crowd. And the crowd is actually being surveilled by the agencies who are then crowdsourcing with each other.
Yeah, the crowd's the product. We are the product.
Jason Hunyar lives in Dunwoody, Georgia. The Atlanta suburb was an early Flock customer with cameras all over town.
Dunwoody shares with over 1,000 external agencies all of our data.
So he filed records requests with the city for Flock's audit logs.
Despite 30 records requests, you don't know who's watching you and your family in Dunwoody in other agencies and what they're looking for.
Correct.
Every time somebody logs in and tries to perform a search in Flock, it is cataloged. And that's there in an audit log that's immutable. So there's public accountability on this.
They gave you an estimate of over $500,000 for you as a resident of Dunwoody to see records of the system they're using to surveil you.
Yes. Just to see who is looking at our data.
Who monitors the camera footage?
Hunyar went to city council with the limited Flock audit records Dunwoody gave him.
And there's 2 agencies that are on there that are literally labeled delete and do not use.
Nobody from Flock Safety is accessing or monitoring your footage. Once again, I have evidence of Flock employees looking at parks, schools, playgrounds.
The audit logs also showed Flock executives watching private cameras inside the city's Jewish Community Center, which the mayor confirmed.
Members of the Flock sales team were using it as a demonstration.
Why didn't Flock find those vulnerabilities?
Why did it take a citizen? Sorry, go ahead. We actually can't talk about the JCC by name. So we can talk about something else there.
Well, why can't you talk about the JCC?
Because we've worked with their team and we're not going to talk about that.
A Flock PR person stopped our interview twice when we tried to ask about Flock employees viewing cameras inside the Jewish Community Center.
Did the people in those videos give permission to be part of a demo?
We're not going to answer questions about the JCC. Not answer questions about the JCC. But any partnership goes...
I have to ask the question however you guys want to answer it. And if you want to say you can't answer it, you can't answer it. That's fine. But I have to ask the question. I can't, it's not a PR video. This isn't like a promotional video. I think
it's pretty clear it's not a PR video. We're good though. I think that people from the community are raising appropriate concerns about who has access to what cameras. I think it's appropriate to ask those questions. And I think it's appropriate for us to also say that we had permission from the cities to demonstrate how these cameras work.
I'm here to express my support for Flock.
At Dunwoody City Council, one resident spoke up in favor of renewing the Flock contract.
I believe they're a practical and effective tool to help keep our neighborhood safe.
Did you know that family members of Flock employees were going to city council meetings speaking positively about the product without disclosing that their family member makes their living off of Flock?
I did not know that, no.
The speaker did not disclose that his son works for Flock as the senior director of growth.
These cameras assist law enforcement.
Should employees' family members disclose that their son makes their entire living off of Flock when speaking positively to a government body about a contract that's pending with your company?
I think that's a fair request.
Dunwoody ultimately voted to renew its Flock contract, but with new restrictions on the company.
So we will no longer be a demonstration location for Flock. That keeps them out of places they should not be.
You told me you weren't in the town of Bomar. I have you roughly 20 times this month alone.
Chrisana Elzer lives just yards from the same flock camera used to falsely accuse her of a crime.
It's hard to drive that way and then look up and see it pointed right at you and wondering, did you put my license plate in a system and now it's tinging at you every time it reads it, and now you're just kind of watching me or taking note because you ended up being embarrassed you were wrong?
Every technology comes with a cost. In your view, the benefits outweigh those costs.
There's no question about it. I think that crime is too easy to go unsolved today. Horrible, violent crimes. And I think that when cities remove technology, they remove tools from the ability to solve those crimes, it actually has a negative cycle that impacts those cities.
Watching everyone to find the criminals among us, but who is watching the watchers? We received no response to written requests for comment from the Jewish Community Center, the Colorado officer who's still on the force, or the Flock employee's father who spoke at that city council meeting.
But Flock Safety says it has unveiled a new audit assistance tool to help police departments flag questionable searches by officers. License plate cameras recording every passing car. But who's watching the watchers?
If you click on any of these police departments, it'll show you who they're sharing with.
We investigate how One Man's app is helping track where those cameras are and who they're pointed at. The company behind the largest network of license plate readers in the country says its cameras don't track people.
Yeah, but police use them to track suspects, and some of the cameras can follow you as you walk by. We investigate how the cameras can map where your car has been and how One Man is now tracking the trackers. In Boulder, Colorado, inside a small coffee shop.
The brighter areas are where the really high density of flock cameras are.
Will Freeman runs the largest police camera tracking system in the nation.
If you click on any of these police departments, it'll show you who they're sharing with. So the lines going outward are the agencies that can access their data directly.
It's called DFlock. The app shows where the cameras are and which way they're pointed.
How many cameras have you mapped?
88,970 cameras at the moment.
Flock license plate readers take a time-stamped photo of every vehicle that passes every camera. Police can search your historical travel information for 30 days.
This creates a searchable database of everyone, not just the suspects of crime.
Security researcher Ben Jordan.
And it's like if you were to build a graph of that sheet, and plot it to a map, now it's as if you've had a GPS on your car.
700,000 crimes a year are solved with Flock?
Flock Safety Chief Communications Officer Josh Thomas.
Reported crimes in America, yeah. So there's a lot more that probably are being helped that aren't being reported.
In order for that historical data to be of investigative value, you have to track every car for 30 days.
Again, I would challenge you on the word track. Tracking the whole of your movements is very different than knowing that you passed by one specific camera, 24 specific cameras. Those are different things.
And then the examples of tracking that vehicle from location to location to location.
But Flock's own webinars talk about its license plate reader's ability to track vehicles and people.
And we were able to track him all the way over to another state.
And you're able to track your suspect's movements.
You're saying Flock does not track people, correct?
Track people, that's right. And the whole of their movements, like you asked, we're not tracking people.
But what do the Condor cameras do? They literally are designed to track a person, aren't they?
Not to track a person, no.
This is a Flock camera known as a Condor. Unlike the Falcon license plate reader camera, you'll notice this does track the movements of people. Whether or not it was designed to specifically track a person, you can see right now, in real time, no matter which way I move, the camera moves with me. And this video is sent right back to the police department.
To alert you when it sees human movement, and it will actually acquire and track that person as they walk.
When I walked down the path and I moved, the camera followed me.
There's an object detection feature that you can set up. It's called Guardian mode, that allows the camera to just know if there's movement from a person in the screen. It is not tracking where you're going to go, where you're going to leave, or you're going to start and stop.
These started popping up weeks after hearing Flock say these only record license plates. They don't take pictures of people.
That security researcher, Ben Jordan, found the same Condor camera streaming openly online. No password required.
And they quite literally use AI to zoom in and follow you around whether you're a person of interest or not.
At one point, I think we had found over 70 cameras.
I watched a woman jogging alone on a forest trail in Georgia.
This wasn't the dark web. This was openly streaming to anyone who could go on a specific search engine and scan open ports. Was that an accident?
Yes, Verizon sent us the wrong SIM cards that had a public IP address. We have a lot of sensors in the world that don't have that. Roughly 60, 70 devices had a public-facing IP address. Second we learned about it, we fixed it.
What if a police officer uses Flock cameras to stalk their ex? What if an abusive partner uses it to stalk their ex-girlfriend and her new boyfriend? It's already happened.
A police officer was arrested accused of misusing the system to track someone.
It's a horrible use of the technology. Tools aren't designed to do that.
Back in that Boulder coffee shop,
Let's see, direct route 4 cameras, and that's just to go 1.7 miles.
Will Freeman added a special feature to DFlock.
It also allows you to route around these things. Yeah, it goes from 5 minutes to 14 minutes, but it avoids all the cameras.
Actual killers have been caught with this technology. Would you want to take that away from the police?
Considering everything, I would want to take that away from the police, at least in the current state that it's in. A feature that you can't turn off is that it's logging everyone else. So if they can get rid of that logging everyone else part, I think it would be a lot better.
Will Freeman is still tracking the trackers because he says no one is watching the watchers. Verizon didn't respond to a request for comment about the public SIM cards Flock said the company sent them. More than 24 cities recently canceled their Flock contracts, including Denver, amid concerns over who has access to the company's data.
Innocent people under surveillance by Flock safety cameras spread out across the nation. Next on Uncovered, we take you behind the investigation.
Brendan, as always, incredible reporting. I'm thinking about the process and how police officers access this. How easy is it for an officer to access to track where someone's going every single day?
Well, it's simply a login. And until recently, they didn't even need two-factor or multi-factor authentication. And they don't need a warrant. They don't need any reason other than the policy in the individual department that says you're supposed to have a legitimate purpose.
Everybody should be concerned about privacy. It's your data. So that makes me wonder, who can access this data other than police?
Well, keep in mind that Flock is a private company. It's a for-profit company worth about $8 billion, a little more than $8 billion. They say they don't sell customers' data, but their whole business model is actually to sell the data they collect to police departments, but also they have corporate customers like Lowe's and Home Depot, HOAs. That's kind of where the business started. And so some of them can access some of the data. But if you have this national search feature as a police department, you can search more than just your department's cameras. You can search department cameras all over the United States. And we're talking about nearing 100,000 cameras nationwide. And that's a very powerful tool. And the oversight tools aren't really catching up to the power of Flock itself.
What's the difference between the license plate cameras and the cameras that are tracking movements?
That's a great question. So it started as a license plate reader where it was just taking a still photo of the car and you would search for a tag and it would give you the last 30 days of travel history of that car past Flock cameras. Then they added more and more of those cameras and you start to get a much clearer picture of someone's movements. Those cameras are now capable of video, but also Flock markets other cameras that are specifically designed to track people, not just cars. So you have cameras pointed at parks, playground sets, schools, entrances of businesses, not just parking lots. And so those cameras are capable of tracking and recording the movements of people, and that becomes searchable. So you can type in guy with red shirt with scar on face, or somebody wearing a Trump or Biden hat. While that's not necessarily the intent of the technology, that is how it can be used.
How do we know these cameras won't be watched online again? And who's checking that right now?
Well, they do have a chief information security officer now at Flock, and so they're proactively trying to plug some of these holes. But, this is the way sort of a Silicon Valley type company works. This was founded by Georgia Tech grads. And the old saying in Silicon Valley is move fast and break things. They've been moving very quickly and growing very quickly. And things like vulnerabilities of camera streaming to the internet, that's one of the sort of dangers of this growing so quickly.
We know it's been a couple weeks since you last did this reporting, yet it's still top of mind for so many people. It's like one of the most clicked on stories that we've done. So we know you'll stay on top of this, and I'm looking forward to more of your reporting on this.
You're watching Uncovered by Atlanta News First Investigates, a weekly hour-long investigative show with new episodes launching every Sunday at 7.